welcome to Geek Lunch Meet. I'm your host Chris. Today is Father's Day as I'm recording this, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, except maybe Darth Vader, who was a bit of a shitty dad, wasn't he? Torturing his daughter, cutting off his son's hand. So yeah, happy Father's Day to everyone except Darth Vader. It's also 46 years to the day since Jaws was released, one of the greatest movies ever made, one of my favourites, watch it all the time. We'll probably do a special on that. We've got July the 4th coming up, obviously where Jaws is set, and I think we'll have a look at all the Jaws films and maybe look at some of my favourite shark films in general. So we'll maybe have that coming up in a few weeks. Also, big thank you to everyone who watched last week's video, which is currently almost at 900 views, which is absolutely fantastic. I know that may not sound like a lot. I know some people on YouTube have got hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views. But when I started this channel a few months ago, and it's just me, I'd have been happy if someone said, "Oh yeah, your videos will get 100 views." Would have been fantastic. And last week's one went great. Probably mostly to do with Indiana Jones 5 content, so there's a little bit of that this week, so we'll kick off with that first. Indy 5 still been filming this week, obviously, after they finished in Bamber Castle. I know he's a bit globe-trotting, but at the moment he seems to be trotting around the UK. They were filming in Hackney, in London. In the Big Smoke, there was a street that had been dressed up with period cars, all from the late 50s and early 60s, so definitely looks like the 60s is going to be the setting, so the space race type of thing does sound like the way it's going. Harrison Ford was dressed up in his sort of professor gear, looking quite dapper. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, obviously, she's very British, so I would suspect maybe that may be where she comes in. They've also been filming up in the Scottish borders again, up on a big viaduct was involved. Harrison Ford was in his full indie gear with fedora and the whip. The leather jacket and everything like that we've come to know and love. I wonder if that will be a continuation of the Bamber Castle stuff with this train, the Nazi train. I wonder if that's part of occupied France still. I suspect that's probably that at the moment. Also this week, because this was the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark being released last weekend, there were some interviews, and both Karen Gillan and John Rhys-Davis were interviewed, and were both very, very coy. They gave sort of almost cryptic answers. Maybe we're reading into it too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if we definitely see Karen Gillan show up as Marion Ravenwood, or is she Marion Jones now? Obviously after they got married. I can't believe that they would get married in the last film and then she wouldn't be seen in this film at all. I find that odd. John Rhys-Davis as Sallah, yes, he apparently he was asked to do a cameo at the wedding, like at the end of Crystal Skull, but turned it down. Seems to be the case. But he was he's also intimated in an interview that he thought maybe his character was a bit not politically correct in this day and age. Which I think is a shame, because Sallah was never treated as a stereotype. He's an integral part of Raiders. Indy says he's the best digger in Egypt. He's a family man. He was never just a cliche. He's a proper full blown character. And I'd love to see him back. So hopefully, so they sort of gave cryptic answers of whether they of what was happening. So nothing for certain, but hopefully. So I suspect they'll be off to Pinewood Studios soon, and then hopefully, presumably, some shooting elsewhere around the world. Obviously, as I said, Indiana Jones is a globetrotter. That's part of the whole that sort of adventure genre. So hopefully they'll be off and about filming in foreign climes, but we'll see. Other news this week. A couple of trailers for some video games, which I'll put in the description below. The first one was Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, which is a big open world game by the looks of it. First person, which for me, I'm not a massive fan of first person games. So have a look at the trailer. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's it looks almost like the movie. It's not coming out till 2022. Obviously, they're still working on it. Obviously, we get the next Avatar film, obviously next year as well. Avatar's one of those funny things because it is currently still the highest grossing movie of all time after its re-release in China that we covered before. Brought it back up above Avengers Endgame. But it's now been so long. It's been like 100 years. Does anyone really care? it's one of those films that's strange. It is the highest grossing movie, but it's left almost no mark on pop culture. People don't, people don't talk about it. There aren't big conventions about it. People don't dress up. There's cosplay. There's not a particularly large range of toys and collectibles and things like that. It's an odd one, but then never bet against Cameron. He always pulls it out of the bag. I didn't think Avatar was going to be as big as it was at all before it got released. So who knows? But so the game's coming out. It apparently the people at Disney Games saw the footage and sort of looked at the game, and based on that, they're given the same company the Star Wars open world game that we're meant to be getting at some point as well. So they were obviously impressed by what they saw. The other trailer, which I'll again drop in the description below, was for Guardians of the Galaxy game, which is coming out later on this year. You play, I don't know if you play as different Guardians, but in the bit of footage they've shown, you play as Star-Lord, certainly. And that looks quite cool. It's not like the film. It's a bit like the Avengers game that came out earlier this year or late last year, where they haven't got the movie likenesses, so it's much more, it's how they're depicted in the comic books. I'm guessing it's much cheaper. You don't have to get the rights. Also, I suppose if you make a game like that, they'll try and make it fit into the continuity of the movie. So this way they can just do something completely different. That is the third-person game. That looks like fun. I don't know, some of the graphics. It looks okay. The graphics aren't incredible, but it looks like it should be a fun action shooter type thing. So yeah. So check out the trailers for those. That's coming out later this year. There's also a trailer I will drop in the description for Gunpowder Milkshake, which I won't be the first person, I'm sure, on the net to make the joke about it being Joan Wick, because it looks like a female version of John Wick. Karen Gillan, I think, plays like an assassin and then goes out for revenge with another group of people. You've got, say, Karen Gillan, obviously from Nebula from Avengers and from Doctor Who, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, or she in Dread. I think she was in the original Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show, I think, wasn't she? Carla Gugino, who absolutely superb. Michelle Yeoh, Angela Bassett, fantastic cast, and I think Paul Giamatti, I think, is the bad guy. So check out the trailer. It looks really stylish and violent and fun. It comes out July the 14th, but I think according to the press release, I thought it was a bit ambiguous, but it's coming out it's a Netflix film, and it's coming out in the States. If you're in the States, it's coming on Netflix July the 14th. But reading it then appeared that elsewhere in the world, it's going to the cinema. So I don't know, because obviously the UK cinemas were planning on being open by then. Everything was meant to be actually reopening tomorrow, but that's all been put back by 4 weeks. So cinemas won't they'll still be only at 50% capacity then. So I don't know. Maybe it will come straight to Netflix over here, or maybe they will wait a couple of weeks and see what they can do at the cinema with it. But yeah, check out the trailer. That looks pretty interesting. Couple of other bits of news. Oh, the Droids cartoon, Star Wars Droids, the vintage cartoon is now on Disney Plus. They've dropped that. It's strange. They just do things without any fanfare. The Ewoks is already on there. And the Ewok movies. I think the Droids cartoon is the last of the sort of vintage Star Wars content I think they'll probably have. I can't think. Yeah, the only thing they haven't got is the holiday special. You've got the Boba Fett cartoon from it is on there. The holiday special as a whole isn't. I mean, it's garbage anyway. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. Check it out. Watch it once, never watch it again. It's worth it just to watch a strange Wookiee granddad watching soft core porn in his lounge. It's all very odd. It's worth watching for its bizarreness and watching Carrie Fisher sing, and it's all very, very strange. But yeah, so the Droids cartoon, all of that is now on Disney Plus as well. Things I've watched this week. Halfway through Sweet Tooth series on Netflix. Robert Downey Jr. and his wife have produced it, based on Jeff Lemire's comic book. I've not read the comics, but I'm really enjoying the show. It's really good looking. It's actually very sort of relevant to where we are at the moment, because there's this virus which has obviously killed a lot of people, and the survivors are scared and they wear masks a lot and all that sort of thing. But there's also got these hybrids where babies have been born that are part human, part animal. It is sort of child friendly. It's like a fairy tale, almost like a fable. A lot of lessons to be learned from it. There are some parts where that probably aren't for kids. I know I've read some stuff that said it's not as dark as the comic, because I don't know how dark the comic gets. Because say the show there's some bits where when you see what they do if someone does come down with this infection, how the neighbours react and things they do. It does go quite dark, but yeah, I've got a couple of episodes left to go with that. Might do a review of it the whole season then once I've finished. But yeah, really enjoying that at the moment. And obviously Loki episode 2 was on Wednesday. That's going great guns. I won't give any spoilers away. Just give, if you're a Marvel fan, it's a must see. Tom Hiddleston's great. Owen Wilson is absolutely superb in it, like he always is. Yeah, and looks like it's got probably a lot of ramifications for going forward with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home, obviously with its rumours of a sort of multiverse and all sorts of shenanigans going on in that as well. So yeah, definitely give that a go. I think there's only 6 episodes of that, so yeah, it moves along at quite a clip. I think things will, well, there's been the build-up. Now we know what's going on. I suspect the story was going to really pick up. It's going to say move at quite a fair pace, I think, to the end. That's about it. What else I watched? Star Wars Bad Batch, the new episode 7, was it 6 or 7? That's okay. It's sort of set after the Clone Wars. It's okay. The animation is very nice. It looks really good. Some of the backgrounds look like they could be taken straight out of like Phantom Menace. The sort of level of the CG they're using now is almost up to that level. This week's episode was quite a good one. There's quite a lot of action going on. There's been a few fillery episodes that sort of drags a bit. But yeah, if you like Star Wars, like animation, especially if you like the Clone Wars and Rebels, check that out as well. Lots of characters starting to appear that we've seen before, cameoing in that as well. Yeah, I think that's it from me today. So take care. If you can hit the subscribe button, that would be absolutely fantastic. As I say, our viewing figures are going up. If we can get the subscribers up as well, it just helps out the channel loads. And I can get more stuff done, make more interesting videos, get more better looking content and things like that. So yeah, take care. And until next time, eat geek and be merry.